And you already touched on different equipment
Mhm.
in your answer.
Right. That's the second part of when I look at stances. So the width is one thing, but now which equipment favors creating the, let's call it, required tension that we're looking for. So keeping your glutes on. Very simply speaking, and in the book, I have an equipment order. That doesn't mean one's better than the other. I think the order of execution, the order of application is what matters, right? This is not about sandbags or barbells are better or worse. I think there's a certain way we have to structure it because because of nature and evolution, not because of fucking me, of my like dumb ideas here. This is about okay, we're gonna start with stuff you can hold in between your hands and you can hold close to your center of mass. That means, take for example, a sandbag, you have to squeeze it and you have to hold it tight. Your center of mass is roughly around your hips, right? In a normal human being, is roughly around your hips. That means hold the stuff close to your center of mass so you actually create tension towards the inside of your body. I'll explain in a second why it's important. On the contrary, so the last equipment to use, so to speak, is the barbell. Why? Because the weight is on the outside. That means the plates are way outside of your center of mass. That means it's going to drag you away from creating tension towards the inside. Again, this is not good or bad. This is just the way it is, and we have to take care of it. And most importantly, we have to be aware of it, right? So, why is tension towards the inside so important to start off first? Every joint can only collapse towards one side, non-traumatic. This is towards the inside. If a joint collapses to the outside, that means stuff is going to either break, whether that's or tear, whether that's tendons, bones, etc. Of course, you can tear tendons and bones if you collapse to the inside. But the natural way of your body looking for tension is always towards the inside. Knee buckles in on the way down in the squat or on the way up in the squat. It never buckles to the outside looking for tension. So your body's always going for that center of mass tension first, to stabilize. And that's exactly what we're using for the order of equipment we're using. So, and there's actually something between the sandbag and the barbell, which is neutral grip stuff. This could be a bar. This could be like a Swiss bar, like a trap bar, our Greximus, for example. So there is a way of how to progress people from a sandbag with pros and cons to a neutral grip bar to an actual barbell, and that's only going to be dependent on what your goal is. You don't have to do all three, but you have to start and respect the order of things. Hopefully, listening to the stuff that I explained earlier, why this is necessary.
Okay. These were all the questions we had for today.
Perfect. So let's sum it up real quick. The hip and the foot works different than the shoulder. The hip and the foot needs loading of the hip with the glutes first. The neutral hip loaded first. The hip needs a lot of loading. We talked last week about bodyweight exercises suck for your hip. Your hip needs a lot of loading first. I'm all for running. I'm all for bodyweight exercises after you have learned how to load your hips properly to keep you neutral under stress. All for it. The shoulder works the other way around. So the shoulder needs a lot of movement and then a lot of loading at the end. So this is literally the opposite. And I guess we're going to talk about the hands. Well, we should talk about the hands next week, the hands and the shoulder, and explain the difference of how to tackle that. The foot needs to be just leave the foot alone, please. It doesn't need any special attention. You don't have to practice walking barefoot. You don't have to practice putting pressure here or there. It doesn't work like this. Load your hips and your feet will adapt and your feet will tag along nicely once you focus on your hips. Shoulders different, but that's going to be the topic for next week. All right, guys. Those are awesome. I love those questions. Bring them on. I hope it's practical enough. If not, let me know. If you want to have practical examples or how to fix your feet, send me videos first of you doing exercises, please, not just your feet. And we'll go over it. Tell me what your problem is. We're gonna solve your problem. I'm gonna talk about it and keep those foot pics coming. Enjoy, guys. See you next week.